In this bonus Christmas edition of True 911 Calls, a child is kidnapped while playing with her siblings. A game of hide and seek goes terribly wrong. A man fails to turn up for Christmas breakfast, and the search for him leads police to a gruesome discovery. Then, an unsolved missing child case brings up new leads 25 years later, and a massive explosion shatters through Nashville on Christmas morning. Christmas, a day meant to be filled with love and laughter, filled the hearts of one Arizona family with terror when a 5-year-old girl was kidnapped right off the streets in Phoenix, a city known as America's kidnap capital. It was around 2:15 p.m. on Christmas Day in 2009 when police received a frantic call telling them that the child had been kidnapped. Immediately, an Amber Alert was issued, and authorities began searching the area by foot, vehicle, and helicopter.
Sam 582.
Sam 582, they're looking for a DUI motor on Adams X7.
Sam 582, 25th Street in Sylvia. I've got a brown Ford Ranger pickup with a male and possibly a small child in the front refusing to yield.
10-4, what was the exact 20 one more time?
4th Street in Sylvia, northbound. The plate is 138, Paul George Victor.
I need another unit for 24th Street in Sylvia.
Pursuit.
Permission for pursuit, 24th Street in Sylvia, refusing to yield, brown Ford Ranger, male, 101.
Speed 60 miles an hour, approaching Dahlia. Be northbound from Sweetwater. He spun out.
He spun out.
63, can you get a dog, please?
Checking.
Westbound on Swore.
Copies westbound on Saguaro.
Control 65, have him call to pursuit. Let's get some units over there in air unit.
I'm checking on the air unit. We are calling in pursuit.
Westbound from 22nd Place, as advised, I am in pursuit. He's approaching Cave Creek Road, and he's going to go southbound.
Copy. 22nd Place is approaching Cave Creek, going southbound.
Westbound on Larkspur from Cave Creek Road.
Copy. Westbound Larkspur from Cave Creek.
Spikes are authorized.
Spikes are authorized.
Southbound on 20th Street.
Now southbound on 20th Street.
Westbound on Ronald Drive.
Now westbound on Ronald Drive.
Southbound 19th Street.
Southbound 19th Street.
Westbound Thunderbird Road.
Copy. Westbound Thunderbird.
Unit west eastbound. He's coming right past you now. Don't turn in front of me.
He's coming eastbound.
Westbound on Thunderbird Road. Speed's about 70 miles an hour.
Westbound on Thunderbird, 70 miles an hour.
Sam 584, I'll take over the pursuit calling. He's still westbound on Thunderbird from the Point Golf Course Drive. Still westbound. Speeds are approximately 80 miles an hour. He's coming up to 7th Street.
Air 4 launch from Deer Valley.
Westbound on Thunderbird from 7th Street. Westbound on Thunderbird, passing Canterbury. Control 65, have some units get ahead of him with stop sticks. 13 John, going to try to stop 26th Avenue and Thunderbird. Control 65, any units ahead at the intersections, try to block traffic, avoid some accidents. Westbound on Thunderbird, he's coming up to 19th Avenue. 612, John, I just deployed spike strip. Units, watch out for him. 582, have the units in front of us take the pursuit. He got through the light.
Copy. He got through the light.
612, John, I got a good hit on the spike strip. Control 65, plenty of units behind him. Have other units just take bullseye positions, please.
Go ahead, boss.
Truck 961. Patrol 65, 961. Block off.
64 India. 624 India. 624 India. Who's got an eye on 624 India?
614 India. Go for 20 custody. We're going to be at 2140 West Thunderbird Road.
Copy. Code for 1 in custody, 2140 West Thunderbird.
I need Thunderbird blocked off at 19th Avenue. We're at 2140 West Thunderbird. The girl is code 4. Can Patrol 65 or somebody there confirm the 101, please?
I need somebody else.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is the 101.
According to authorities, the child, whose identity has remained anonymous due to the nature of the crime, had been playing with her 7- and 9-year-old sisters outside of their apartment building when a man parked in a parking lot nearby walked over to them holding a camera. The man reportedly grabbed hold of the 7-year-old's pants and pulled him down before snapping a photo of her. He then grabbed the younger girl and then threw her into his truck through an open window. Statistically, a kidnapped victim is rarely found alive if they have not been recovered within a few hours. But thanks to one heroic police officer, the little girl was located about 7 hours after being taken. The kidnapper, later identified as Larry Ladwig, was located 7 hours later by Officer Mike Burns. According to Burns' recount of the events that led to the criminal's arrest, the police officer had just finished combing a desert area for any signs of the young girl. As Burns drove down a North Phoenix Street, he came across a truck that matched the description of the kidnappers. He saw that there was one man and a little girl inside the car before the vehicle made an abrupt turn and sped away. That was when the officer knew he couldn't let it out of his sight. The vehicle crashed after hitting spike strips set up by authorities, and 10 minutes later, Burns arrested the 45-year-old man and the traumatized girl was saved. She was taken to a Phoenix police facility that aids young victims of crime, where it was discovered that the 5-year-old had been sexually molested. She received treatment and was taken back home to her family. Ladwig was booked into a Phoenix jail and charged with kidnapping, sexual molestation of a child, aggravated assault of a police officer, and felony flight. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Then, on 13 July 2020, a government site put out a statement reading, "Inmate Larry J. Ladwig, 56, died on July 5 at Mountain Vista Medical Center. He was transported to the hospital on June 21. Make sure to subscribe to get notified of every new Real Life 911 video. Eric Hinton was having a hard time getting his young children to go to sleep and was trying to let them run themselves out of energy by playing hide and seek. Having recently split with their mother, the father of 5 was at his mom's house near Raleigh, North Carolina. It was around 11 p.m. on Christmas Eve 2008, but the holiday season was about to turn into a nightmare. While the 26-year-old father was in the back of the house, his youngest son picked up a loaded gun. The weapon fired, shooting 3-year-old Farrell Hinton in the head.
911 location of your emergency.
Please. Hello?
Yes.
My brother, he was playing like with this gun, and he playing with it, and he was pointing at himself, and he's trying to tell me he's dead.
What's the
and
address?
I'm so scared. I'm so scared. He's
What's
dead.
the address?
Huh?
What's the address?
Idlewood.
Okay, I've got you at 1123 Ujama Drive, the Hinton residence. Is
Okay.
this where the emergency's at?
Yeah. You want to talk to my daddy?
Okay.
Hold on.
Hello? Hello, what happened?
He's in the ambulance here.
To what address?
1123 Ujama, please.
All right, what's your name?
Hurry up, please.
What's your name?
Help.
You need to listen to me so I can tell you how to help him if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Please.
Can you hear me?
Look, my son just got shot, man.
All right, he got shot. Stay on the phone number. Or you got somebody else getting help on the way. Who shot him?
I don't know.
You don't know. Did anybody see him get shot?
No, I was in the back of the house.
All right, okay. All right, how old is your son?
Can you please? He's not moving.
Listen to me. I'm going to tell you how to help him. For his sake, stay as calm as you can. Are you with him now?
Yes.
How old is he?
He's 3, man.
He's 3 years old. Okay, just
He's not moving well.
listen. All right, what we need to do is get him flat on his back, on his ground. Do you hear me?
Well, hey, please.
All right.
My son is not moving.
Listen to me now. Let me know when you can hear me. Let me know when you can hear me. I'm going to tell you how to help him. Can you hear me? I'm going to tell you how to help him.
Please, man.
All right, listen to me. Is he conscious?
I don't know. He's just laying there, man.
All right, is he breathing?
Huh?
Is he breathing?
Well.
All right.
Well.
All right, I'm going to tell you how to help him, all right?
Hey, please, man.
Listen to me. I've already got somebody else getting help on the way.
Please.
Is there any serious bleeding?
Yo, he got...
All right, now, let me know when you can hear me and you can understand my instructions so you can help him. Can you hear me?
Look, man, I was outside.
Hit him flat on his back on the ground.
Yes, he's on his back.
All right.
Look, I was outside, sir, and I was in the backyard. Look,
Right?
can you please?
He
is not moving, sir.
I'm telling you how to help him right now. Flat on his back on the ground. Remove any pillows, all right?
Huh?
Remove any pillows.
Pillows?
Put him flat on his back on the ground without any pillows. Do you understand?
With no pillows? He's
No
all
pillows. All right, look in his mouth. Any food or vomit? Is there anything in his mouth?
No, it looked like he got shot in his face, man.
He got shot in the face.
Please.
Listen to me. Put your hand on his forehead, your other hand under his neck, and then gently tilt his head back.
Do what?
Put your hand on his forehead, your other hand under his neck, then carefully tilt the head back.
Put my head on his forehead.
Listen to me. Hand on the forehead.
Sir, my finger hold is shot. Can you please?
Do you understand that they're on the way? I'm telling you how to help him.
Do what?
Hand on the forehead. Other hand on his neck. Tilt his head back.
Real. Oh my God, yo.
All right, now put your ears to his mouth and let me know if you can feel or hear any breathing.
Hold on.
Good.
I can feel a little breathing. One eyelid is open.
All right, I'm going to tell you, listen to me. You say he's aware of what you're doing. If you panic, that's not good for you.
Please, man, come on.
Listen to me. I'm telling you how to help him right now.
Look, man, this is my son.
I understand it's your son. That's what you need to be.
Look, my two sons is here. I got 3 boys with me. One just got shot, man.
I understand, and I'm telling you how to help him. You stay calm is the important thing you can do for him is to stay calm because he's aware of what you're doing. Do your best to stay calm and listen to me, all right?
Oh, my God.
All right, I'm going to tell you. Okay, with his head tilted back, you said he's got one eye open, right? And he's looking at you?
Yeah, one eye's open.
And he's breathing. All right, you leave his eye open and you make sure the door's open so they can get inside. I want you to watch his breathing and let me know if that...
Move, baby. I can't tell, sir.
What can't you tell?
Hold on, be quiet, please.
Yeah, what can't you tell?
His one eye's open, man.
All right, is he breathing? Is there air coming?
I can't tell. There's blood on his face, sir.
I understand there's blood on his face. I'm going to tell you how to breathe for him, all right? Listen to me. With his head carefully tilted back, pinch his nose closed, cover his mouth with your mouth, then blow 2 regular breaths into his lungs, all right? 1 second each, just enough to make the chest rise.
They here.
All right. Don't tip over for you. Did you feel the air going in and out? Did you feel the air going in and out?
Where's the ambulance? They're coming.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, man.
All right. They need to keep doing CPR. Do not stop.
Do what?
Do not stop CPR. I don't care if it's the police. The CPR needs to keep...
I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do, please.
Did you feel the air going in and out with his head tilted back? Pinch his nose closed, completely cover his mouth with your mouth, and blow 2 regular breaths into the lungs. About 1 second each. Just enough to make the chest rise with each breath.
He was out in the yard just playing.
Somebody keep doing CPR.
Okay. Just playing. We was all running around, and as they were running, I chased them around, and my son was in the house by himself. So as we was in the back, I heard a pow, so I ran around front, and shortly before that, 2 guys that rolled by on a bicycle. So we running, we ain't playing no mind. My neighbor just came and left.
Hello.
I was waiting on my ride, because we was about to go take them to my grandma's house, to their grandma's house for Christmas. But anyway, I'm chasing him around the backyard. We all getting ready. He came in the house, and I just heard a pow. So then, there's the patient right here. Hello?
Yeah, okay. Are they doing CPR?
Y'all, come here. Don't talk to me. Okay, we're going to let the EMS work on, all right, buddy? I know, man. I know.
All right. All right.
Come here, sit down, all right? Come here and just sit down for a second, all right? Where did he go? What happened, man? Where's the shooter? Where's the gun at? Hello?
All right, are they...
What do I do, doctor? Can I call you right back?
Are the paramedics with him?
The paramedics are not here. It's just police here, man.
All right, are the fire department with them? Are they doing CPR?
Ain't nobody doing that, man.
All right, well, then, you tell them that 911 is telling you to do CPR.
Just down the street.
Hello.
No, I don't have no weapon. We was outside playing, and we was running around in the house, and we was playing hide and go seek. He came in the house. My neighbor had just came. He was packing his stuff. I said something to him, and I ran around the house looking for him. And then I heard something say fire. But as my neighbor came, there was two boys that were walking down the street, man. Oh no, yo, I just...
Despite the 911 dispatcher's efforts to help the panicked man save his son, the single gunshot wound to the young boy's head was fatal, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Just before 8 a.m. on Christmas Day, the deceased child's father, Eric, was arrested. It was his weapon that had killed little Farrell, and the prosecution said if it weren't for his negligence, his youngest son would still be alive. The father was arrested for involuntary manslaughter and held in Wake County Jail on a $100,000 bond. Upset and unable to speak, he was put on suicide watch. This wasn't his first time in jail. Eric had a lengthy criminal record and had served 6 months in prison in 2006. Farrell was the youngest of his 5 children, who he had shared custody of with his ex. What makes this incident worse is that Eric wasn't legally allowed to possess a firearm at the scene of Farrell's death. This was because he was on probation for prior convictions for selling cocaine and marijuana. On Friday, December 26th, he appeared in Wake County District Court charged with involuntary manslaughter. He was appointed a public defender and also charged with possession of a firearm in addition. The defendant's uncle asked the judge to let him receive psychological counseling. Other family members said the jailed father had been trying to change his life, but leaving the lifestyle he led wasn't easy. In the weeks before, shots were fired at his mother's home, and Eric's life had been threatened more than once. His family believed he had the gun for protection. When the family of 29-year-old Kevin Bacon reported him missing after he didn't arrive for a scheduled Christmas Day breakfast with his family, a friend of Bacon's told police that he was supposed to meet someone from the dating app Grindr the night before. What nobody was prepared for was what police would find in the investigation. 2 months earlier, on October 10, 2019, a 911 dispatch in Shiawassee County, Michigan, received a bizarre emergency call from a 40-year-old man whose identity had not been released. In the call, the man describes his escape from the basement of a local man, 50-year-old Mark David Lutansky, who had allegedly drugged the caller and chained his feet to the floor.
Shiawassee 911, where's your emergency?
This is going to sound insane. I'm here in Detroit. I'm from New York, and I met this guy at the bus station who offered me a ride, and I'm not even sure where I am. Well, I broke out of this fucking basement, and I need a ride. Okay. I'm in trouble. I can't even find my way back to his place if I wanted to. I don't know if you can take me a signal. I'm from New York. I'm walking down the street with a picture knife, sweetheart. I need help.
Okay, I'm going to get you help. Are you walking down the street right now?
Yes, ma'am, I am. I'm passing a barn. It's all beautiful here. I can't believe it. I don't know where I am. I don't know. Like, I never ever had anything like this happen. I don't know whether he drugged me. I don't know. I woke up in the fucking basement, okay? Chained in the basement with a leather thing around my ankle, and I cut it with the butcher knife that I have in my freaking hand, excuse my French.
Okay. Do you have anything on you right now?
I have my phone. I'm sorry, what?
Are you carrying anything?
A butcher knife. Until I see a police officer, when I see a police officer, I will throw it. Until then, I don't trust that he's not walking up because I got lost, and I don't even know if I'm headed towards his house or not. That's why I'm dialing 911. but I'm lost. So I don't even know if I'm headed back towards his house.
He just woke up in a basement. He was chained to something, so he cut the chain off.
I cut the leather strap that had the chain.
So he's not sure where he's at.
I just want to get out of here, and I want to go home. I don't even care about the legal case I was here for. I'm sorry I can't help them. I want to go home.
Okay, all right. And listen, I've got help on the way. What were you here for?
I'm a volunteer court advocate. I came here to help in the CSC meeting, and I was supposed to be meeting them at the bus station. I met this guy. I'm by. He was cute. He hit on me. I don't know. We went out to the car. We talked. We went to the store. Had a soda. I woke up in the basement.
Okay.
He obviously drugged me.
Okay, when I get a trooper close to you, I'm going to need you to put that butcher knife down, though.
Oh, that's not an issue, sweetie. We'll go flying into the woods.
Okay.
Your officer is in no danger. I've been a public
You don't need to throw it in the woods, but I just don't want it on you. Is there anything else on you at all?
Just, I don't even know if I have my cigarettes.
Okay. You don't have a bag or anything else?
No, I don't know where my bags are, sweetie.
Okay. Okay.
I was very fortunate that my wallet was in my hoodie. I met this guy in here, and he seemed like a nice guy. He points outside like he wanted to talk. I go outside. He goes, oh, well, he just started shooting birds. He was cute. I'm from New York, and I never had this happen.
Are you injured at all? Do you think that you need any medical attention?
No, I'm not injured.
Okay.
I really know myself. I'm in a panic right now. Cherry's only as good as the weakest link, honey. He had a leather strap to a metal chain. He's an idiot.
Okay, where I'm showing you, the trooper is a little bit away, but when he gets closer, I'm going to need you to put that knife down.
That's no problem, man. I have nothing but respect for the police officers. I've never had a problem with police.
Just advising, he has a knife in his hand he used to cut that leather off. He's going to put it down when he sees you approaching.
Because I don't know if I'm working towards him, and if he comes walking out, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be unarmed.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I was definitely, it's so real right now. When this settles in, I'm probably not going to be able to function. This is like shit from a movie. I ran down driveways. I ran all over so much that I'm fucking lost. I was making sure I wasn't being followed. I don't know whether he's got dogs. I don't know. I don't remember going to his house.
Okay.
I don't want an incident report. I just really need a ride. Get in here, please.
So if you see him approaching, I need you to put that knife.
Okay, I don't see any lights at all.
Okay.
Okay, I'm starting to see lights coming up behind me. They're ways away, though.
Okay.
I will sit this on the guardrail as soon as I can tell nobody's walking behind me. This is the second vehicle I'm seeing tonight.
Okay.
And I'm hoping this is a cop, because if it's not, I'm going to be really scared. I'm flagging down whoever this is. So if this is the maniac, you're going to hear some crazy shit. I don't know. I think this is a cop because that looks like an extra bright light, so I am now putting this down. Okay. I am unarmed. It is on the guardrail. I am not armed.
He sees you, he's putting that knife on the guardrail.
I am not armed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
It's over here.
He sees you. He sees you.
Okay. I just want him to know I'm not armed.
He knows.
I'm not armed.
He knows.
Yes, sir, I am. I'm not armed. I'm just really happy to see you. No, sir, you do whatever you have to do. You're the police. Stand in front of my car. Whatever you need, sir. Okay, I'm going to hang up on you, okay?
Yep, he'll take good care of you.
After he was found and questioned, the man refused to press charges, even going as far as to request to be taken back to the home of Mark David Lutansky. Michigan State Police said the man stayed at the home of Lutansky for an additional 2 to 3 days without incident. A month later, on November 25, 2019, Shiawassee County Dispatch received another call of the same nature. The caller, a 29-year-old man who remains unidentified, gave eerily similar information as the previous month's caller.
Shiawassee County 911.
I want to get away from some creepy guy. He had me tied up in his basement.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I'm trying to escape from some guy who had me chained up in his basement.
He had you chained in his basement? Where are you calling from?
I don't know. I am heading near this road.
Are you on?
From here.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Looks like you're on Tyrell Road.
It could be.
Are you walking?
Yeah.
Hold on 1
I
second.
don't even have shoes on.
3562.
I don't know if I should try to go to someone's house. I don't know where I'm at.
I'm trying to put out a call. 62,
Okay.
you can start off for Tyrell. Just east of Morris Road. Had a subject that was chained up in someone's basement, just fled the residence. He's out on foot.
He's after me.
Okay, I need you to go to somewhere safe. If you can run up to somebody's house. Where are you at right now? Are you able to get away?
Help me. Help me.
62, he's running towards the house. The guy's trying to come after him. I'm trying to get further. Okay, I need an address where you're at. I'm trying to get it.
What's your address? I'm on the phone with the cops right now.
Where are you? What's their address? I need their address.
He won't give me the address. Please.
Are you outside or inside somebody's house?
I'm trying to find someone to help me.
Are you in the road? I have some state troopers that aren't very far away.
I don't know where.
Are you in
Well,
where are you at right
I'm on a white house across from like a barn.
Okay, are you close to the road? Can you see an address on the mailbox?
Yeah. I'm too far away from the mailbox.
I'm sorry?
I'm too far away from it.
Can you see a mailbox? Are you on the road?
Yeah, I'm on the road now.
62 and 12, he's running down the road, trying to get an address or a mailbox or something for him. Kind of hysterical.
910W.
910?
Yeah.
I think he's in front of 910 West Tyrell. He's at 910 Tyrell.
He's trying to get away from me. Hey, I'm on the clock. What's your address? What's your address?
Let me can I talk to whoever you're talking to?
What's your address? What's your address?
3562 and 12. They're going to be at 910. That's the house they're at, 910. He's talking to a homeowner there. Okay, do you know where the house was at that you were at?
It was not even a mile down the road going, I don't know what way. I see the trooper.
Okay.
I see both of them. I see the trooper right there. He just, yeah. Trooper is right here.
Okay, go ahead and talk to them, but you're going to have to point out where the house was at that you're in, okay?
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and talk to the troopers there.
Okay, so
right.
hang up.
Yep, you can hang up with me.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
After being directed by 911 dispatch to seek shelter nearby, the man found himself at the home of nearby resident Michael Parks. Mark David Lutansky, allegedly searching for the escapee, arrived at Parks' house simultaneously as Michigan State Police. The supposed victim refused to press charges, stating that anything that happened between him and Lutansky was consensual. Parks recalled the incident in a later interview.
I hear a pounding at my door at 4 in the afternoon, and I jump up. My dogs are barking like you probably hear, and this kid has this his face covered with a rag and a phone to his ear, and he's like, help me, he's after me, just scared to death out of his mind. A gentleman pulls up in my driveway in a silver SUV, and he gets out, and he's wearing the same getup this guy's wearing, which is a leather skirt and a couple of belts crossing her body, no shoes on, no shirt on, it's 40 degrees, grabs my arm and clutches behind me. Keep him away from me, just scared out of his mind.
After Bacon was reported missing on Christmas Day, authorities located the victim's car in a parking lot in Clayton Township. Inside, they found his phone, which led police to go to the home of Mark David Lutansky. When they arrived, what they found was something that can only be described as ghastly and horrendous. The body of Bacon could be seen hanging feet first from Lutansky's ceiling. Lutansky admitted on the spot to the slaying. The details Lutansky gave regarding the murder of the young man and the mutilation of his body are too appalling to be listed here. Mark David Lutansky was arrested and charged with the murder and desecration of Kevin Bacon on December 28, 2019. After the arrest, the killer's husband, Jamie Arnold, spoke to WNEM.
Nobody should have to go through this. No parent should ever have to bury a child. Somebody who, when you met, was this kind, gentle soul who turned into this monster. You don't want to believe it. I came home and there's somebody there, and he tried to get me involved, and it was like, you know what? I'm gonna make me dinner, I'm gonna go to bed. That's why I had to get out. So I had to get out. I couldn't take that lifestyle anymore.
And when's the last time you talked to Mark?
I talked to Mark on Christmas Day. I had some friends over, and I didn't want him to be alone, so I invited him over Christmas Day if he wanted to come.
Okay, so...
He arrived there in the afternoon, I don't know, sometime around 1, 2 o'clock. He appeared to be normal. He never exhibited any signs that anything was wrong. The 27th, he was here to take my car, the rental car, back because it was costing me a fortune. And he said, hey, you know what? Why don't you use my car? There's a truck, you know, I'll get that fixed up and I'll drive that, and you can drive my car until your car is fixed.
Did you take Mark back to the house on that Friday?
Yes, I did.
Did you go in the house?
I did not. I dropped him off at 10:30 at night and came back home. I had to work the next day, and he never once said, hey, why don't you come in? He just got out of the car, left, and told me that if they thought I was involved, I would have been arrested by now if I was under any kind of suspicion.
Why would you think that people would think you're involved?
Because of social media, because of what's out there. All they know is what they see. I understand. They see pictures of us together. They see that we are married, that we live in the same place. They don't know that I left. They don't know the reasons why I left.
Arnold ended the interview by saying that he had never met Bacon. Public defender Douglas Corwin described the alleged killer as someone who consistently suffers from delusions and may not be competent to stand trial. This standing has led to the trial being delayed multiple times. In a February 2020 interview with Fox News, Corwin explained his concerns about his client, saying he is unable to distinguish between what is real and what is not.
He knows the charges, but because of what's going on with his thinking, and he's not able to help us defend him. Every time I ask him a question, just the other day I talked to him, I had 3 questions for him. It took 45 minutes to kind of get an answer.
Later that month, he was found not competent to stand trial, and in June, he was transferred to a psychiatric facility. The delay in his transfer was due to the lack of space during the COVID-19 pandemic. Once Lutansky was finally deemed fit to stand trial, more gruesome details were revealed in court. These included acts of cannibalism. Antidepressants found in the victim's body were brought up, with the accused claiming he was assisting Bacon in committing suicide. The killer told police that after their sexual encounter, he and Bacon began talking about how they could make his body disappear. He said Bacon told him he had been suicidal in the past. However, evidence of text messages showed that the victim had expressed concerns about his safety after the hookup, and he had trusted Lutansky to be the one to keep him safe. The pandemic led to lengthy court delays, and the trial is ongoing. Bacon is fondly remembered by his managing partner at Vintage Beauty, Crystal Grosshard as a passionate worker.
Yeah, he was a very talented artist, like his vivid work, like with vivid colors of the blues and the pinks and the purples.
After she found out the horrifying news, Grosshard said everyone who worked with him had been devastated. Bacon's parents also shared kind words about their son after further details about the day leading up to his murder were released to the public.
And I understand that the events, what was released today shows Kevin had a dark side. For those who knew and loved Kevin did not know that side. Those who knew him knew his good side, who he knew that he loved and cherished everybody he touched, and he touched a lot of lives in the past, during his short life. It's unfortunate that his dark side is what took his life, and he met the wrong people that way. That took him too soon from us.
Makeup mogul and YouTuber Jeffree Star put out a statement on Bacon's murder.
This whole case is crazy, and I want to put awareness on this because there's so many pieces to this puzzle. There's Grindr not giving people information quick enough. There is the town that they were from, their family, they live near Flint, Michigan. It's such a fucked up city, and I feel so bad for the people that have to deal with all this shit and the shadiness and the sketchiness of the police force. Now listen, this is all alleged, I don't know everything, but there is a lot of things I'm learning, and I'm so devastated for the Bacon family. I don't know. Sometimes I want to use my platform and make content about this stuff. And this isn't about me. I want to put someone else's story on the map when they're not getting a fair shot because the system is so fucked. And we're about to be in the new year, and it's like, I want to get on a plane and fly to Michigan. I want to meet these people. I want to talk about their story because they're not getting a voice. And if someone like me can help, that's so important. So I don't know. I just have a lot of thoughts on my mind this morning, and I'm just a little Here is Sweet Kevin, and I want you guys to be able to link to his GoFundMe. So if you guys want to swipe up, you can donate. They did reach their goal already in a few hours yesterday, and I don't know. I'm so devastated by this. Kevin, I love you.
Star then donated $20,000 to cover the funeral costs of Kevin Bacon. The fundraiser is no longer open to donations, but the total received was over $37,000. Meanwhile, in February last year, Mark Lutotsky's home was sold for over $100,000 at an auction, garnering interested bidders.
I am friends with someone who actually cleans up bodies and doesn't mind the gore, and neither do I. Like, I'm fully down, and I heard that the house had trap doors inside of it.
Those interested were not even allowed to see inside before placing their bids. In December 2020, friends and family painted the Flint Rock in honor of the late Kevin Bacon. His mother wore a printed sweatshirt to honor him while they did it. JonBenet Ramsey was a well-known American child beauty queen with her whole life ahead of her until one chilling day on Christmas, December 1996, her mother, Patsy Ramsey, called 911 after discovering that she was missing.
911 emergency. Police. What's going on? 5515th Street. What's going on there, ma'am? We have a kidnapping. Hurry, please. Explain to me what's going on, okay? There's a note left and our daughter's gone. A note was left and your daughter is gone? How old is your daughter? 6 years old. She's gone. 6 years old. How long ago was this? I don't know. I just found the note. And my daughter's gone. Does it say who took her? What? Does it say who took her? I don't know. There's a ransom note here. It's a ransom note? It says SBTC. Victory. Please. Okay, what's your name? Are you Patsy Ramsey? I'm the mother. Oh my God. Please. Okay, I'm sending an officer over, okay? Please. Do you know how long she's been gone? No, I don't. Please, we just got out and she's right here. Oh my God, please. Okay, girl. Please, somebody. I am, honey. Please. Take a deep breath. Please, okay? Hurry. Patsy.
It has been 25 years since the murder of 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey became famous for the mystery surrounding the case and the false confessions made by those who did not commit the horrid act. There has been endless speculation and even false confessions about who committed the heinous act. A new documentary, The List, is lifting the lid on the 1996 case and prompting new investigations to take place. JonBenet was only 4 years old when she began following in her beauty queen mother's footsteps and began her journey as a beauty queen. The little girl has been described as fun-loving, adventurous, mischievous, and beautiful by her family. The Ramseys were successful in their careers and lived a lavish and high-society life in Boulder, Colorado with their children, 6-year-old JonBenet and 9-year-old brother Burke. Patsy had just beaten ovarian cancer and was celebrating her 40th birthday in remission. A brightly decorated Christmas that promised to be as merry and glamorous as the beautiful little girl herself was soon to become a nightmare when a heartbreaking note was found in their home. The family had attended a Christmas party the night before, and the couple had put JonBenet and her other brother, both had already fallen asleep, to bed when they got home. Patsy was the first one up on Christmas morning, excited to begin her well-planned festivities, when sheets of paper caught her eye at the bottom of the spiral staircase she was heading down.
There were 3 pages neatly laid across one of the runs of the...
The handwritten note contained a harrowing message. It was a ransom note demanding $118,000 for the safe return of their beloved JonBenet. The author of that note seemed to know some personal details about the family. The length of the note also indicated that the kidnapper knew a lot about the family. The $118,000 was close to the exact amount of John's bonus last year. The case was compromised from the very beginning. People who knew the family were flooding into the home, passing the ransom note around, and talking in a home that was now a crime scene. Police did not secure the scene, nor did they secure and try to calm the family. The note indicated that a call would be made between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. that morning, but that time came and went. The lone officer left at the scene with the Ramseys suggested that JonBenet's on-edge father look around the house for clues. He and a friend started with the basement, where he found the body of his beloved daughter.
I'd found my daughter. She was lying on a white blanket. The blanket was wrapped around her. Her hands were tied above her head. She had tape over her mouth. I immediately knelt down over her, felt her cheek, took the tape off immediately off her mouth. I tried to untie the cord that was around her arms. I couldn't get the knot untied. Picked her up, and I ran upstairs and laid her on the floor and still had a hope that she was alive.
The search for a little girl had just turned into a murder investigation, and John Ramsey, now at the scene of the crime, picked the little girl's body up, removed the tape, dragged her upstairs in his arms, and threw a blanket over her. This severely tainted the investigation and brought DNA from the blanket, the living room floor he had laid the body on, and John Ramsey himself onto the body of the dead girl. From the beginning, John and Patsy Ramsey were the prime suspects of the investigation, even though 38 registered sex offenders lived near the home at the time of the murder. They did agree to give blood and hair samples to authorities. Still, the Ramseys displayed suspicious behavior from the start, refusing to be formally interviewed by police, lawyering up right away, and only several days after her death, JonBenet's father called his pilot to arrange a flight to Atlanta. The ransom note was from Patsy's notepad, and the paintbrush used to make the garrote came from her art supplies. There were fibers from Patsy's jacket inside the duct tape stuck to the little girl's mouth. To everyone's shock, and to add to their suspicious acts, the Ramseys broke the silence on CNN after their daughter's memorial service was held in Atlanta.
If anyone knows anything, please help us.
We've sensed from our friends that this tragedy has touched not just ourselves and our friends, but many people.
JonBenet had been strangled to death with a garrote, a savage homemade device made from a length of cord tied off with a paintbrush that ultimately strangles its victims. She had also suffered from blunt force trauma to the head. An autopsy later revealed an 8-inch fracture to her skull. There was also evidence of sexual abuse. The paintbrush used for the garrote was also used to assault her sexually. There was also foreign DNA found in her panties, along with a drop of blood, DNA was also found on her long johns and under her fingernails, evidence that was only discovered after the case had been privately investigated by Lou Smith, who uncovered important information that the police had overlooked. The police had initially found no evidence of a break-in. However, upon reinvestigation, a broken window was found where an intruder could have entered. Smith also noticed that physical evidence had been left at the scene that came from the outside of the home. No duct tape was found in the Ramsey home, but duct tape had been used on the girl's mouth. There were also 2 marks on her body left from a stun gun. The gun was also not found at home. According to private investigator Ollie Gray, other suspects in the case included known sex offenders Gary Olivia, who had been arrested on drug charges in 2000. Upon his arrest, police allegedly found a magazine cutout of JonBenet Ramsey in his backpack, which led them to investigate further. The sex offender was released, but suspicion remains. John Mark Carr made a false confession in graphic and sexual detail. However, after his DNA test failed to match those found at the crime scene, he was eradicated as a suspect. The housekeeper, Linda Hoffman Pugh, had a key to the home. Michael Helgoth, an electrician who had a dispute with the family, may have had a motive to seek revenge on the family, but he committed suicide in 1997, and his DNA also did not match that which was found at the crime scene. Patsy died in 2006 from the recurrence of ovarian cancer. The stress and heartbreak from losing her daughter and then being a prime suspect undoubtedly not helping her condition. Shortly after her death, the Ramseys were formally exonerated from the case due to the new evidence found pointing towards an intruder. John is now remarried and living a quiet life. 20 years later, Burke Ramsey was reportedly paid to be interviewed for the first time since his sister's murder. Many do not believe he was responsible for her death, but his demeanor in the interview raised suspicion for some. To this day, the case remains unsolved. Before the sun came up on Christmas Day last year, a frenzy of 911 calls were made from 2nd Avenue in Nashville. What residents initially thought were several bursts of rapid gunfire ended up being an even bigger disaster. The first calls came in around 5:30 a.m.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
178 2nd Avenue North.
178 2nd Avenue North?
Yes.
Okay, what's the phone number you're calling from?
I don't want to give it.
Okay, what's your name?
Brian.
Brian, what's going on there?
There have been 3 rounds of gunshots inside the building. First about 7 or 8 minutes ago, and then about 5 minutes ago. And
what floor are the shots on?
I can't tell.
Okay.
It's a 4-story building.
4-story building, okay.
And it has an atrium within the middle of the building. So there's 4 units on each floor. And there's 4 floors. And there's an open atrium.
Okay. Did you see or hear anything else?
No. But they're in the building.
Okay. And just to verify, it's going to be 178 2nd Avenue North, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to talk to officers when they come out?
No, I'm too scared to come out of the apartment.
Okay, well, I wouldn't advise going out of the apartment, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and let you go. If something changes or gets worse, give us a call back.
Please tell me, though, how are the cops going to get into the building?
What do you mean?
How are they going to get into the building to investigate this?
What do you mean, how the cops going to get inside?
Well, there's gunshots going on in the building.
Well, the officers would take every precaution they can to get inside the building to make sure everything's okay.
Okay.
Okay, you're welcome.
Metro Nashville 911, what is the address of your emergency?
166 2nd Avenue North.
Okay, is that off of Church and Commerce?
Yes.
What's the phone number you're calling from?
It's just a building. I'm calling from,
What's your name?
my name is Kim.
Kim, is there a name for that building?
It's called the Ray Building, RHEA.
But I don't need any police inside the building. We're hearing gunshots on the street.
Okay. How many shots did you hear?
We've heard it happen 3 times now, and each time it sounds like it's 6 or 7 shots. And it happened, and then 30 minutes later it happened, and then again 20 minutes later it happened.
Okay.
We haven't
When's
seen
the last
anything. I'm
time
afraid
you heard it?
That happened about, 10 minutes ago? Yeah. 10 minutes ago. They're coming.
Okay.
It happened about 10 minutes ago the last time. We haven't seen anything, however.
You haven't seen anything else or heard anything else?
No, it's been about 10 minutes. We haven't seen or heard anything, and, we haven't raised our shades because we're trying not to draw any attention to our windows.
Yeah. All right, it looks like we already have a call, and we do
yeah.
have the officers on it already.
Oh, has somebody else already called?
Yeah, someone else called. We do have officers. Actually, one's outside that building.
Thank you. Yeah, I hear somebody out there right now. Thank you so much.
No problem. You have a good day.
Okay, bye.
Just 4 minutes later, another caller reported a bomb threat blaring over a loudspeaker. In between the warning to evacuate, then the 1964 song, Downtown by Petula Clark, played over the same sound system.
911, what is the address of your emergency? It's 2nd Avenue North. We have a recording out here saying there's a limited time to evacuate this area. On 2nd Avenue North in downtown Nashville. Is that you guys?
2nd Avenue, where at on 2nd?
166 2nd Avenue North.
166.
There's a recording out there that's saying there's a limited time to evacuate this area. There's a large bomb inside this vehicle.
Let me check and see what we got.
Can you please send the police up here? Meanwhile, I'm getting dressed. Can you please send the police up here?
Yeah, we definitely can.
166 2nd Avenue North.
It looks like we have them right
I'm
out.
in a panic.
Okay, we do have officers out there, right near 178, which is right.
Right. Are they reporting anything about this recording that we're hearing?
We got a call about shots being heard.
Yeah, shots. But now there's a sound on there that says there's a limited time to evacuate this area. There's a large bomb inside this vehicle that is playing over and over and over outside.
Gotcha.
And I was just concerned that that's the police car saying that.
Yeah. I don't see anything in this call, but they are out there, so I don't know.
Okay. Thank you. I'm gonna look out the window.
Do you want to speak to an officer?
No. I'm just gonna get dressed real quick. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
In body cam footage, police officers can be seen clearing out residents around 6 a.m. While they are walking down the street, you can see and hear the sound coming from the RV.
I go that way. With so many lives in danger, these officers cannot wait, and they need to act now. They quickly begin to evacuate people from the surrounding area.
Hey man, we can take a body.
So you're not doing anything wrong, okay? You're not in trouble, but there is something serious happening out the road.
Go for 11.
Around the same time, the first responding officer, Officer Lulin, is seen speaking to a man who had taken his dog out for a walk. Moments later, an explosion happens. He spoke about that moment in a press conference a few days after.
Overall, I don't know for what reason the gentleman or female, whoever it was that actually did this, gave the notice. I'm just grateful that we actually had time to try and help people clear out. I saw that gentleman. Gut instinct told me go get him and tell him to get inside, get his family, get out. And overall, I did that, and I'm just grateful that none of the shrapnel or anything like that hit me, him. I'm a big dog lover, so it's dog too. So just very grateful that no one was seriously hurt.
The blast knocked down Lulin. His colleague, Officer Wells, was even closer when it happened. In the same press conference, the brave man said a divine intervention led him to changing his direction.
And at that point, I get out, and I'm starting to go back toward Llewellyn and Hosey. And as I'm getting ready to walk toward them, walking back toward the RV, and this might not be politically correct, but this is my truth. I literally hear God tell me to turn around and go check on Topping, who was by herself down on Broadway. And as I turned around, for me, it felt like I only took 3 steps. And then the music stopped. And as I'm walking back toward Topping now, I just see orange. And then I hear a loud boom. And as I'm stumbling, because it rocked me that hard, I started stumbling. I just tell myself to stay on your feet, stay alive. And I just take out in a full-out sprint. And I'm running toward Topping to make sure she's okay. And we kind of meet in the middle. And we just grab each other, check each other, and I'm yelling at her to get her gun out because, like I said, I felt like there was going to be some, it just had a feeling that, it's just weird. It just felt like something out of a movie. And so we're checking on each other, and she's asking me, she's telling me that they're trying to raise me on the radio. I couldn't hear, so, I just lost temporary hearing in my left ear. So as she yelling, I'm saying what, and a couple of explicitives, telling I couldn't hear. And they get me to the paramedics. I call my wife immediately, let her know just before anything got out to let her know I was okay. And while I was in the ambulance, they were trying to get me to go to the hospital. And I just didn't want to be by myself at that moment, didn't want to leave them. And then I heard that there were 3 people that were injured, so I told the paramedics to take care of them. And I was like, per policy, I got 10 days to get checked out. So it's like, y'all go check on them, go check on the civilians. And then I immediately went to go find Topping. Just kept asking where Topping was, and we found her.
Kept on going up to 2nd and Commerce to hear what the RV was saying, and that's just stuff that I'll never forget. The sound of the announcement saying, primary objective is to evacuate now, and it's a female voice, and yeah, it's just odd. And then of course, I'm kind of pacing back and forth because I kept on having to turn pedestrians around. It was a weird feeling not being able to be with everybody else, but I knew that, I needed to stay where I was at. Because, you want to be with your detail, especially when you just have a feeling something's not right. And something that weird, just, you don't get stuff like that. So, but I was standing there by my car, and I heard Tyler say that music just came on. So I got, I went to go get closer, and I heard it, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I was about to get on the radio and say, I know it's almost not my place, but like, everybody's getting out of the buildings, right? We need, I wanted everybody to be safe. But then I saw a group of them, which couldn't really tell, but I was assuming was Brenna and Sipos and Tyler, walk around the RV back towards their cars. So I kind of saw them. And I started walking up to 2nd and Commerce because I wanted to talk to them. I wanted to know, do we need to go to more buildings? What do we need to do? I was just getting really antsy. And I just talked to my wife again. Just told her that things were just really strange. And so, but as I'm walking towards them on the right side of the road, the right side of 2nd, I see Wells at his car. And I was like, well, he's closer, and I'll go talk to him, see what we need to do.
His partner, Officer Topping, was emotional while she recalled it. Despite their best efforts to evacuate residents before the blast, one woman called 911 from inside her building.
Oh my gosh. What is the address of your emergency?
Oh my God, sir, my entire building just fell down and it's collapsing. I live at 160 2nd Avenue North. Please come, please.
So the entire building just collapsed?
The roof is collapsing in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay with me.
Oh my God.
You're okay. You said 160 2nd Avenue North, correct?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Maybe it's just I don't know what's going on. Ralph, come on.
Stay with me.
I'm getting my shoes now. Yeah, I'm getting my shoes. I'm going downstairs now.
Okay, ma'am.
Oh my God.
What is your name?
Mallory Lucian. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Stay with me.
Maybe it's just my roof. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're perfectly fine. Stay with me.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
You're okay. You're doing great. Stay with me.
Okay. I need to get my keys. I don't know where they are. I don't know. I'm going to get my keys.
You said you had kids with you?
Okay. No, just my dog.
Okay.
I got him.
What's the phone number you're calling?
Oh my God. Everyone's out. Oh my God. I've got to get out. Oh my gosh. 6.
Okay.
We have to get out. We can't be up here. All right. Come on, Ralph. Oh my God, I think it's an explosion. Ralph, watch out.
All right, ma'am. We already have responders on the way. Okay, I need to go. 911 is backing up. I want you to get out of that place immediately.
911 is coming already.
Okay, I need to let you go.
Yeah,
Get
we're
out
all
of the building
getting out.
immediately. Okay, bye-bye.
Right, thank you.
The 911 dispatch center then had another flurry of calls. 2 of them were made from surrounding roads.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
I don't know what the address is. I work in Skirmalhorn Symphony Center, and it was close to the AT&T building. There was a big explosion.
Okay. You said close to the Symphony Center. I have you at 1214 4th Avenue South by the Hilton Hotel. Is that correct?
No, man. The Symphony Center is one Symphony Place.
Is that where you're at right now?
Yes, it's down. I believe it's down 3rd Avenue. I didn't see anything fall or anything, but there was a big explosion.
Okay, excuse me.
And it was closer towards the AT&T building.
Towards the AT&T building?
Yes,
okay.
On 3rd.
Hang on 1 second. Why is it not bringing it? There it is. He said that he heard an explosion? I can't.
Yeah, there's a big explosion on top of a building.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I gotcha. Okay, what is your name?
My name is Joseph Kitchens. I'm a security guard for Skirmalhorn.
Okay, I gotcha. And what is the phone number you're calling me from in case we get disconnected? Okay. And you said it came from towards the AT&T building?
Yes, on the 3rd Avenue. It's in between 3rd and 4th, but they'll be able to get easier access on 3rd.
Okay, did you hear or see anything else?
I heard the explosion, and I seen the explosion on top of the building.
You saw it on top of the building?
Yes.
At the AT&T building?
No, not the AT&T building. One of the buildings closest to it.
Okay. And did you want to speak to officers, Joseph?
You can send them over here if you want to.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to update the call we already have, okay? Do you see any fire or anything else?
Yes, there was a big fiery explosion on top of the building.
Okay.
That's what I've seen. But I'm nowhere near, I'm not getting anywhere close to it, I'll tell you that. It scared the crap out of me.
Absolutely. All right, sir, you keep yourself safe, okay? If anything else changes or worsens, you give us a call back.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
It is at 2nd Avenue and I believe Church of Commerce Street. There was just a massive explosion downtown with a huge fireball. I'm at the Encore Apartments on the 15th floor. It just shook all the windows and just, yeah.
Yep, we're getting a bunch of calls on it. Yep.
Yep, I'll let you, I can't see anything. It looks like I can't see through the smoke right now to see exactly what building it is.
Yeah, it's right, I'm pretty sure it's right near right in the middle, right near Church 2nd. Okay.
Oh my God, that's terrifying. It looks like something's on fire still.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
You're
yes.
okay? Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, they are, we have officers there. We're getting the fire department out as well, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Police Chief John Drake briefly considered the blast to be an accident caused by a person camping in the RV, trying to stay warm, but this was quickly dismissed, and federal agents were called in. By 11 a.m. on Christmas morning, authorities had taken several people to the Central Precinct for questioning. However, no one could give any details about the suspect. Since AT&T's regional telecommunications hub was near where the explosion happened, mobile and internet services were down, including 911. A shocking revelation came that afternoon when Pamela Perry woke up and saw the bombing on the news. The ex-girlfriend of Anthony Quinn Warner immediately believed that he was involved. Initially, the woman could not speak clearly due to the shock, but contacted the FBI later that day.
I won't have hundreds, possibly thousands of lives on my soul. And I will shoot him in the leg if I have to.
As it turns out, she had reported on Warner's bomb building in August 2019. Perry's attorney, Raymond Throckmorton, recorded the conversation.
I made a report on the spot for him to get checked out. I did all I knew that I could do. If somebody had checked Tony out and gotten him the help that...
In an interview with CNN, Throckmorton recalled the phone call, saying he had called 911 himself to report it. Both parties believed Warner was dangerous. According to Metro Nashville Police Chief John Drake, an officer observed Warner's home for several days but found no evidence of bomb making. It would have required a sign of a crime being committed or that a bomb was being made to obtain a legal search warrant or subpoena. The report also says they responded to his home, knocked, and nobody answered. They observed an RV in the backyard, but the yard was fenced off and police couldn't see inside. The duration of Christmas Day was spent on mop-up operations and interviews, with the FBI traveling to both Perry and Throckmorton's homes.
I had stopped. He was out in the street, and I had stopped strictly to ask him about his mother, to let him know that if his mother ever needs anything, don't hesitate to knock on our door. Me and my wife would, be more than happy to help in any way we could. And just out of small talk, and he said, thank you. And just out of small talk, I asked him, is Santa gonna bring you anything good for Christmas? And he smiled, and he said, oh yeah, I'm gonna be famous. Nashville and the world will never forget me.
That evening, authorities said the motive was still unknown, but in a CNN interview with neighbor Rick Loud, who knew him for over a decade, more about Warner's mindset leading up to the incident is uncovered. He spoke to Warner just 4 days before. On December 26th, federal agents searched Warner's home. Still, the only information relayed to the public was that no one was inside, and a person of interest had been identified. They had received over 500 tips relating to the bombing by that point. Meanwhile, the AT&T outages extended across other states, hitting retails with the debit, credit, and ATM services unavailable. Mayor John Cooper described the 6 Nashville police officers who were on the scene before the explosion that damaged more than 40 businesses and left a trail of shards from shattered windows as heroes. When they responded to the calls of gunshots, the officers said they searched the perimeter but found no shell casings, now believing the sound was played out through the speaker in the RV. The first responder also found nothing strange about the van being parked on the road since it was the holiday season, saying he presumed it belonged to someone who was visiting family. Officer Wells additionally mentioned there were surveillance cameras on the outside of the parked vehicle, which caused him to feel like whoever was behind it was watching them. He was waiting for an active shooter throughout the ordeal, describing the scene as something out of the movies. With only 3 people injured, none of them seriously, the officers' quick thinking saved lives. The dispatchers also played a vital role as they worked with them to gain access codes to the buildings that were let out as Airbnbs. 2 days after the bombing, Warner was officially declared as the bomber. DNA taken from the scene showed he was inside the RV at the time of the explosion. The blast caused havoc for days, weeks, and months afterwards. The network services were disrupted in 5 states until after December 28th. Flights to and from Tennessee were canceled, and many lost their homes and businesses. Thankfully, the FBI was able to reunite owners with their pets. In February this year, residents and business owners were still working hard to restore what they had lost. One survivor, Betsy Williams, salvaged as much as she could in the rebuilding process, including 100-year-old bricks.
I want it to be cohesive, I want it to be historic and meaningful, and really say something about Nashville and Nashville Strong and how we all pull together and work together to make things happen.
4 months after the blast, with the streets mostly cleaned up, the site attracted visitors to see the damage.
For the most part, it's too long. We hope to be much further along, so it's very frustrating. Yet, I kind of knew from the beginning that this would be a long and arduous process or road back. And now I think it's pretty clear that that will be the case.
Business owners were hoping they could get back as soon as possible after being closed for the entire time. Melting Pot and Rodizio Grill owner Mark Rosenthal spoke to WATE News.
And I immediately went into a panic mode. So I sat there and watched, and I kept looking at that RV, and I heard the music of that song. And I remember hearing that on a CD he had played for me. And I'm like, what does that song even mean? I mean, why are you listening to that? And he just like, I like the song. I was going through a hard time, so he would sit there and start rambling. He was always talking about his alien conspiracies, his 911 conspiracies. He was telling me he knew when he was going to die, that he was stocking up bomb material. He was cooking this stuff.
What motivated him? Why did he want to do this?
I have no idea. All I know is he hated the government. He said that the government was going to have something to talk about, and he would be remembered. He got up in my face and he said, if anybody finds out what I'm doing, I'm going to know it came from you and you're going to be sorry.
Warner's ex-girlfriend spoke to News Channel 5 in Nashville in April this year, adamant it could have been prevented. She says in her gut, she knew it was him. Perry had tried to go into the RV once, but Warner told her to stay away. The woman's frustration with the police's lack of response was doubled by the response to the allegations in August.
All they had on their mind was I was suicidal, and then they said they were sending somebody over there, that I needed to get into the ambulance. And I said, I need to know that you've got him.
The call resulted in the woman going to the hospital that day, thinking her ex would be investigated. Once she was out of the hospital, she had no further contact from the authorities. Perry was forced to sell the home she grew up in, fearing for her safety. Warner continued to text her. The next time anyone spoke to her was the morning after the bombing. Reward money amounting to $34,500 was raised primarily by downtown business. And, although Perry solved the case with her tip, she didn't receive any of it. It went to law enforcement, with half of it going to the Metro Police Department to commend the officers for evacuating the residents. The city appointed a commission to investigate the bombing. In September, they asked Metro Police about reports that the now infamous RV first went to the Hermitage Hotel on 6th Avenue North, but moved after hotel employees asked him to park it elsewhere. Police say it is something they looked into. There have been no further updates since then. Don't forget to like this video if you found it interesting, and subscribe to join us in the next episode of True 911.